Good morning. We are back. Hi, Dr. LaJoy.
Hey Lorna, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We have some special guests. Our topic today is the HBCUs. We want to have a conversation about HBCUs. You want to introduce our people?
Yes, I'm excited today because I have two very special people in my life that are joining us that both attend, well, one is attending currently and the other is graduated double from a HBCU. That's my sister Lorraine Ward and my nephew Bryson Ward. So this is an exciting podcast for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for being a part of this. We are very excited about HBCUs. And for anyone that's watching, HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. Anybody knows the history behind HBCUs? Why do we have them in the first place?
Um, from my understanding, is that back in the day, like in the 1800s, well, I know my school started like 1866, like right when slavery was supposed to be over, but my university was started by a white man. His name was General Fisk.
Hmm.
And a couple of his friends, they had black children. They had relationships with black women, but back then it was illegal. And it was 12 kids. They wanted their kids to go to school. So they built Fisk University for their children. And we still to this day, they built tunnels under the school. So if the Ku Klux Klan or whatever racial riots came, the kids could hide up under the tunnel. So like most HBCUs were founded by white men. Um, so that's interesting to see that
Hmm.
a white man loved his kids so much that they came together and built this school so their kids could be educated. But that's from what my understanding is. If I'm wrong, somebody can
No, no.
correct me. But they were made so because we were not allowed to go to the white schools. And most back then we weren't supposed to be educated because we were
Hmm.
slaves. This was 1866, just coming out of slavery. But they did want this is for black people to get an education, you know.
Hmm.
So that's why I see HBCUs were made, and we weren't supposed to go to school with white people because
No.
segregation, really segregation back then. So that's from my understanding how HBCUs have came about. I know some have, like Mary McLeod Bethune, she made a HBCU. That's a black
Hmm.
woman that made, she was really heavy. She made her own school. But like, as far as my school, it's named after a white man. Howard, I think, is named after a white man too.
I
So
think so.
I don't know about Morehouse. Bryson, you know about Morehouse? How Morehouse?
Mm-mm. I don't know who named Morehouse, but I know it was ran by three or four white presidents before we had our first black one.
Yeah, so that's interesting that ours was ran by white presidents, and then finally, black presidents came about too.
That's interesting.
It's very,
Yeah,
very
go ahead. I'm
interesting.
sorry. Go ahead.
When I look back at history, um, like I grew up with my father's mother, and I used to spend a lot of time with her, and she claimed she knew everybody. And she should have been the Wendy Williams of back in her day, because she claimed she knew somebody who knew somebody famous. So she would always say, the NAACP, white people used to see, she would say, you need to be united because, um, we work together. Some people did work together to, advance black people. I have to say it like that.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I really never researched why HBCUs overall were made.
Well, you hit it on the head.
Yeah,
That's
but
pretty much why. They
mhm,
didn't want us in the same building. They
right.
wanted us, they wanted, now, I read the very first HBCU was actually meant for the Black children or the Black people once they got a certain age to uh, create jobs, industrial jobs. They wanted to make sure they knew how to be a maid. They make sure they knew how to clean houses well, how to cook, how to go outside, work, whatever. So they had something like that, and I forgot what it was called, but that's what they had. They originally. Then they started doing the universities, and for the very same reason, Black people and white people could not be in the same building. That was just, what are you doing? No. And then they just kept going until we're here now. And now we're the very reason why we have HBCUs, so Black people have a place to go and feel happy and feel,
Safe.
safe. Now they're trying to destroy it for their own reasons. We all know what those reasons are. They are afraid of what's going on, especially when they see Kamala Harris, graduating from Howard University.
Right.
They are like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, pump your brakes. And they're seeing Texas Southern University, Prairie View, Fisk, Morehouse, Spelman. When they're seeing all of these universities, FAMU, when they're seeing them and they're becoming more and more accessible. But they think, just like we had talked before, they believe that, oh, yeah, you know why? Well, only Black people can go. At these universities, do we only see Black people? Who do we see?
No.
It's a bunch of Indians, white people. When I was in school, we had a couple of white people in my class. We had Asians. It was a lot. They come to our schools, and then we do have, I don't know if any of them were immigrants, though. I don't know if they were American. I never researched, but we had a lot of Africans, too. But I don't know if no, the Africans weren't American citizens. They came over here with a green card to go to school.
Yeah,
I know the Africans for sure, but other ones I don't know.
Yeah. So basically what that was a big misunderstanding that a lot of people have to this day, is that they only admit Black Americans into HBCUs when it's open to anybody. It's just been established from the beginning as historically Black colleges because that's what it was created for. But anybody is welcome, just like with anything we do as a people, we always are welcoming to anyone. That's just our nature. So that's how I see it. But Lorraine is correct, because even when I visited her, there were different people down there and stuff. It wasn't just Black people. Even back in not telling the age, but that was like what late 80s, early 90s. So
yeah, because when I dropped my daughter off at Howard when she was a freshman, I was so shocked. It was so many white people going to Howard, to Howard. It shocked me when I saw the white girls in the dorm. I was shocked, about it was so many. I was expecting like one or two sprinkled, but I saw quite a few.
Big change from the past. Yeah.
Right. Well, why do you think? What makes well, I know with us, I hear a lot of people talk about HBCUs and they're saying that it's very welcoming, it's very loving. You receive quality education, you quality teaching. But yet we do see so many white people on campus. So why do you think they want to be on campus? What reason you think?
I have no idea.
Well, Bryson, what is Bryson? What do you think? Why do you think? Because we are seeing a increase in their presence.
We are at Morehouse. We don't have too many white people or others races there, but it's mainly Black here and at Spelman, of course. Clark has a few Hispanics and maybe one or two white people, but I'll say the whole AUC, I only seen less than 5 white people walking around campus that actually go to school. I think a lot of other races are coming to H. If you when I was interning at Northern Trust, I told people, they like always ask me like, what college you going to? I said, oh, I'm going to Morehouse. And everybody, when I mean everybody, I mean whites, blacks, Mexicans, everybody were like, oh, you going to Morehouse? They knew the school. So I would say the reputation has something to stand on. And some of these people, they grew up around black people, to be honest with you. They didn't have the best finances growing up. They might have grew up in the hood or might grew up in a great neighborhood and had a bunch of black friends and they want to continue that. They might have followed their friends, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Because when I was in school, it was a white guy. He followed his friend. They were from California. He followed his friend to Fisk. So, and he's the main person, like over the Fisk alumni, everything. He loved Fisk. I'm like, every time you see something, his face is up there, you know. So yeah, that's true. Sometimes they do follow, and I was shocked that um like people in my building was like, oh, where's your daughter going? I said, oh, she's going to a school called Howard. They was like, I know Howard. Like some of the white people be like, my friend works there. She's a professor there, blah, blah, blah. And I was shocked that they know Howard, you know, because I was like, oh, is she going to school? And I'm thinking that, oh, they don't know what Howard is, you know. But like, I was shocked that I haven't met a person yet who didn't know what Howard was. What Howard is, and also when I said about Bryson going to Morehouse, they knew Morehouse, you know. So you know, I think that schools, I guess they been informed about. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Lorraine because even when I mentioned where my niece and nephew go, they always respond in that way, like, wow. The first thing they say is that, well, they must be real smart to get in there. I said, yeah, they are smart. But yeah, that is typical response when they hear where they're attending school.
Yeah, and that's why I hear a lot too that they're smart because it's hard to get in. Those are like Howard, Morehouse, Spelman. I hope I'm not missing anyone else, but they're hard to get into, and that's what I hear too. And but my kids did early acceptance, and they got accepted in December. They didn't even have to wait till May. So, but they worked really hard. They knew what school they wanted to go to. Those are dream schools, and they was like, that's where I'm going. And they got, you know, did early acceptance and they got in there. And it shocked me too, because I was like, oh, you know, it's hard, you know, they didn't want to go to my school. I was like, okay. It's like,
I remember my college counselor, he was trying to convince me because we had to apply for 15 schools to like graduate from my high school, urban prep in Chicago. And I was like, okay, I'll apply to your 15 schools. I didn't. I applied to one school, that was Morehouse. And he said, okay, you at least already got accepted because you know how they do the college fairs and they just accept you on site. I got accepted into Fisk and I think it was Michigan something. And I'll let you slide. So I said, what other school am I going to apply for? What other school do I like? What other school would I enjoy? And I was thinking, it took me about 3 days. Then I finally realized I went on the comment app and I typed in S, P, and Spelman popped right up. I was like, I'm going here, mama, if I don't get accepted into Morehouse. And I applied to Spelman. And the funniest thing, I got a letter that say I got deferred, not, what do you call that? Denied.
Deferred. What did
Deferred. No, and it was a girl that went to Kenwood I knew very well, and she got denied. I said, girl, I'm more of a woman than you.
Oh.
Maybe they did that because of gender. You know, they had to protect themselves. You a guy, and that's a girl's school.
Yeah, scared of a suit. A lawsuit. Probably thought they were getting set up for a lawsuit or something. But I can assure that Spelman, my nephew, only intention to go to Spelman was to be around a lot of girls.
Yeah.
Don't tell Allie; she'll get very mad.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you know, there's a young lady. I know you guys saw the story. I forgot. I think it was at Howard. And it was a young white girl that applied for the AKA and they allowed her in. So a lot of people were really mad, but I was like, no, I understand why. Because one, you know what kind of sorority this is. However, if they had denied her, she would have used the race card. Because now they keep saying we use it, they use it even more now than ever.
Sure do. Yeah.
And because they use that, they allowed her in. Because why would you over here screaming and hollering, you know, the other person's name, and yet you join something that is extremely what's the right word? Very Black American, very
Okay.
Black American. I guess that's what we could say.
Right.
So why would you two do that? So when I thought about it, he applied for Spelman, and they were like, "Oh, this is for girls, but we're gonna chill because we don't want that lawsuit." Well,
Exactly.
that's exactly what went with her. They didn't want the lawsuit, and I'm sure she was shocked too. I would have let her come in and then showed her everything from Nat Turner to everybody. Just let her sleep in the room with them all over the walls. When I got through with you, you're
Okay.
gonna understand why you joined here.
Okay.
You want
Yeah.
to do that.
You're gonna learn today.
You're gonna learn today.
Mhm.
Now I went to PV,
Okay.
but I only went for a semester.
Okay.
But I had to stop because I was starting in the reins of taking care of my mom. So that's when I ended up going to Walden. Uh,
Okay.
but the time I was there, it was very opening. Everybody was very nice. They were sweet. And I was much older than them. So one girl thought that I was one of the professors.
Mm.
And so I laughed. I said, "That's okay, sweetie. If you think I'm old, I'm good." And at that time, I was in my early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
No, my mid 40s. I was mid 40s. And so I just started laughing. I said, "Okay, it's cool. That's fine."
Mm-hmm.
But she was not disrespectful.
Okay.
But when I went to just walked the PWI institution, oh, I had, eyes big, and I'm sitting there looking at them like, "What's wrong
Mm-hmm.
with y'all? Are y'all okay?" So it's a huge difference.
It
Even though
is.
we are very intelligent people, very smart people, we got going on up here, we're still looked upon negatively. But when we go to where we are, it's a beautiful feeling.
Mm.
It's a beautiful feeling. Well, right now I want to ask Bryson because he's in the middle of it right now. The DEI scare. What's going on the campus now? Because they're doing a lot against, well, not against. They're saying that they are very nervous. It's a lot of HBCUs are very scared in a way because of what they got going on with DEI. So, what is happening on your campus?
My campus, do I see people scared? No. People in the AUC, they're kind of very, very, very confident. And a lot of people, they have side gigs that they're very passionate about. And their side gigs is kind of their main thing they really want to do in life. And the degree is kind of like a plan B. So I say they haven't really given it too much thought yet. Now, I would say DEI has actually affected people who want to go to like medical school the most. People who've been going to like really want to go, they kind of getting a little more scared and all. What you call? They kind of getting scared that they're not gonna be able to get accepted or continue in the path they want to go on. I would say that.
Okay.
That's
But I will say I truly believe I got skills to do anything, and I think a lot of my friends are the people I keep around me are the people in Morehouse Business Association. So we highly confident in our capability to keep going. I don't think we will have to worry about DEI too much.
Okay.
that's what it needs to be. You got to have that confidence. But I see, I teach at a junior college, and I have a lot, before the junior college I taught at, we were just getting people around the Chicago neighborhood, just taking a couple of classes. Now, in the past, I say, I've been there only 8, I'm going on 9 years being there, but the past like 3, no, I say 4 years, I've been getting people from University of Maryland. It's a girl from Arizona. She went to Notre Dame.
Oh,
LaJoy, I'm gonna give it to you to see if you know her mom, but her mom's a doctor. She
okay.
was in my class, and they have degrees already. I'm getting all these people from big universities because they're trying to get in med school, and they are Indian, Black. That's scary. That he said that about the med schools, and they said they need Black doctors, and that's scary. Are they trying to push our colored doctors away? I don't know, but the kids are really smart. Notre Dame, University of Maryland, they're taking the prerequisites to get into med school because they did not get in when they grad. And it's just crazy. And they're very smart. I'm like, and I got to up my game because I'm at a junior college teaching them. So I up my game teaching them, because they're trying to take the MCAT and I got to give them information that's on the MCAT. So when he said that, I just thought about that. And that's a scary thought because we need a color doctor.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. It's like a preparation. They're going there for a preparation to pass the NCAP to make sure they can secure a spot. Because now it's going to your score got to be real high.
Because they're trying to get a higher, what you call score on the MCAT, because maybe they were rejected before from med schools, So now they're taking the classes again. But one guy, it's a lot of can I say Indians, they are switching careers. A lot of like some of the guys I have there, they have 9-to-5 jobs and they're working in computer science. And they said their job's about to be closed out. They're trying to be doctors now. So they're coming back to take their prerequisites so they can get in med school too. So I just see when he was talking about the med schools, and we do have like med schools and none of them, I said, are you all applying to Meharry? I'm like, none of them had Meharry on their list. I'm like, look at Meharry.
What about Xavier?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, because I did the recommendations. Xavier, Meharry, and Morehouse has a med school. Maybe they need to look at that. Don't just,
set your eyes on one specific school.
Go
where you're accepted, because in the end, your greatness is going to happen after you graduate. That's how I always look at it.
But they're not at the top. They just desperate trying to get. They said they don't care if they got to go to the littlest city in the world that's in.
They just want to get their degree.
I guess they didn't think about the black. They didn't think about, I need to apply. I can apply to the black med schools too.
But why? I wonder why wouldn't they want to if they're already at an HBCU? Why would they? I mean, it seemed to me if you're at Morehouse and they have a medical school, is it hard to get into that medical school?
I'll say no. It's just not as reputable as some medical schools that are well known. I will admit, a lot of people that I see coming to the medical school, they kind of like 30. I know that sounds a little harsh, but that's the truth. I remember they had their orientation, and I don't think I've seen a single person under like 25.
No. But you know what? Morehouse only accepts, they don't have a lot of seats. Because I remember when I was at Fisk, people wanted to go to Morehouse Medical School, but back then they only accepted 25 people. So out of thousands of applicants, you only have 25. They probably have more seats now, but back then, when I was in school, going to Morehouse Medical School was a thing, because they only had 25 seats.
We have one young lady. She's in Baton Rouge, and I think she's at LSU. Okay. She wanted to be down here at Baylor, but she wasn't accepted in Baylor. So I think she's in LSU medical school there. She's going to be there for a while, but she managed to get in there. I'm not really sure what reason, because we're talking about a very smart young lady, very gifted. Now my niece, you have to be in Texas, you have to have a doctorate in pharmacy now. So she didn't choose TSU. She ended up going to Texas A&M. Now TSU is a little bit more, to me, a little bit more higher up. And Texas A&M, because Texas A&M just started theirs, I think, a few years back. But one of the reasons why she didn't go, she went to PV, but one of the reasons why she didn't attend TSU is because the financial aid got on her nerves.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that has a lot to do with a lot of people. They're like, man, this financial aid. And I never really understood why some of our HBCUs struggle with financial aid. Is that something from the government because it's HBCU, or is it because I don't know what reasons would they have? Do anybody know, or anybody can contemplate?
I have no idea, because back in my day, they used to have lines down the street where we were applying. Registering, to get in school, back in school every semester. it used to be lines. And then I never stood in those lines because my mom paid cash. So I had a cash check, and they used to talk about me because they used to have protests because their financial aid wasn't going through. That was back in the late 80s, early 90s. And they had a protest in the library because the financial aid took forever, and they would miss like 2 weeks of class trying to get into school. And I think because we didn't have computers really good back then, it was all paperwork. But I remember they used to be like, oh, you need to protest. I said, I'm not protesting. And it was like, you need to protest with us. I was like, well, my mom worked hard and she paid for mine as cash money. So I remember me and my friend Chelsea, we used to be like, we're not protesting, for that. But now I look back that I'm older, maybe I should have, protested with them because I didn't understand what they were going through, that it took them forever to get in class. And I don't understand. I don't know if it's the government, the money not coming through. I don't know if the people in the financial aid was messing up. I don't know what it was, but the lines were ridiculous. And it took them forever to get registered for class.
Now I've seen that. Now, I've seen a lot of people struggle with that when they went to the HBCUs because they were like, man, I can't get it for nothing. So that's why I've always wondered, was that mostly because the HBCU, or was it because the HBCU were doing their own, playing around like they wasn't supposed to be playing around? I don't know. But that was something I just wondered. Now I know Morehouse is pretty good. I've never heard anything negative about Morehouse, Spelman, or even Howard.
Right.
I didn't hear anything negative about Fisk, at least not for the last 5-10 years. And and then when I went to PV for that one semester, I didn't have any problems with financial aid. Well, I paid out of pocket, but still I was able to get it done. I did half. Let me take that back. I did half. I paid for half, and then I got some financial aid.
I was
But I didn't have
told,
any problems.
okay, I called them, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I was told because I get a 7,500 per semester, so that's 15K per year as like a scholarship that I got when I came in, and it's called the GAP, General something something. Please excuse me, and they didn't give it to me this year. And I called them and I asked why. And he said, well, because you paid cash this year, you don't seem like you financially need it. And I was like, what does that make sense? So if I take out a loan, he said, well, if you apply for a loan and take one out like through the FAFSA thing, you can get it, maybe. But that was a strong maybe, where it's like, you're definitely going to get the scholarship, but you have to take out a loan. So it's like, you get a discount, but you're going to have to pay it back, the hard way. I don't like that at all.
No, I'm so confused. But that happened with my son because when he was a pocket person, he's like paying out of pocket, or he even got scholarships. The Pell Grant fell through because of what's going on up there, and so he was having problems with that. So he ended up just having to pay. But then the following semester, they told him that he couldn't get it because he paid money, he paid cash, but he can get it, but he can't get it. And then they started giving some other verbiage that I'm still confused on. So it's like, you can do it, then do it yourself. Good luck. And the government is not going to help you because you probably can do it, but they're not sure if you can do it. But there, you'll do it. The weirdest mess I've ever seen in my entire life.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. All because you're trying to stop people from going to school and getting elevated.
That's what
Not everybody wants to go to a college. I get that. And I don't make anybody. I always tell my students, you don't have to go to college, but you need to get some type of training, a certificate, license. I told them right now, a plumber makes more than a teacher.
Yep. And an electrician.
Thank you, an electrician. Yeah, because my uncles and were electricians. I had 2 of them. So I told them, just get a training. But now they're doing things that I'm just kind of confused on, trying to stop HBCUs from something that they wanted in the first place because they didn't want to be in the building with us. And now they've seen the elevation. Now they're like, well, no, because you're going to teach Black people Black history. But you're going to teach me my history? Okay, don't worry about it. Do y'all. teach the way. But when they walk inside my house, they're gonna know Black history.
I gotta
Mhm.
ask y'all a question. When y'all were in college, did y'all have A minuses and A pluses and all that? B pluses, B minus?
No,
Well,
I
because I
never.
did. I
No.
did.
Believe
Why?
it or not, I do
What?
believe we had it at Indiana University.
Mm.
If I'm
Really?
recalling, and it was in increments, and it could affect because I went through the teacher education program there, I mean, you could not graduate unless you held a 3.0 or higher to be a
Mm.
teacher. When I was going through, that's how high of a standard that they put out there. If I'm recalling, or it was like a 2.8, close to a 3.0. But I believe they did have, and I got to look back at my transcripts. I believe they did, and that can make or break you, that minus or plus.
Mm.
It was odd. I don't know if it was because of the way they made their programs and what you needed at GPA to graduate. I'm not sure, Bryson, but I believe we did.
I'm
Okay.
trying to
They,
remember.
I
And a
don't, I
C
think,
minus was a D. I'm just being
I
honest. It
just
was just a
said be
D.
numeric because I remember 93, 95, 97, 88, 87, something like that. But I don't remember the A minus. And I mean, it could have been, unfortunately.
I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something they did where they broke down each letter grade into different, like
Mm-hmm.
this
Point.
for the GPA purposes, you know.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember trying to make sure that I didn't get anything below a 70 in my undergrad because I was way out there in my undergrad. Now my grad, I was fine. I
okay.
don't remember if Walden gave us anything, any A minus. I don't remember getting
We
A
were
minus.
just flat. I think we were just A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
Why?
a lot of classes and the A plus. Well, it's not even an A plus. Let me start with that. It's no A pluses. You can get 100%, 99%. You won't get an A and it won't be a plus. It'll just be a simple A on the screen. But if you get a 90 to a 92.9, that's an A minus, and that's like you do very well in class. You get an 85 on one quiz. Now you have like a 95. Then you get a 93 on another quiz. Now you have a 92. Boom, you have an A minus. And those are quizzes, let alone exam. I'm talking about if you ace exams there and participation every day, calling the teacher, say, you look good today, girl, and all that. Yeah. So,
But
but
yeah,
I will say this. Morehouse, I don't know if it's all HBCUs, but from what I hear from people that go around the AUC, it's very, except for Spelman, I give Spelman that. It's very, hey, I'm not gonna baby you, but I understand that a lot of people weren't prepared. They didn't go to like they didn't come from the best places. They don't know like, the discipline you need to really like lock
Right.
in school. So
mhm,
they was I
mhm.
don't want to say hold your hand because that's like babying, but they'll pick you up out the water if you drown and they're not gonna let you just die in the water. But
Exactly.
they also not gonna take you out the water. They gonna be like, man, you got to learn how to tread or something. And that, I will say that's what I
Maybe
love
you
about
better.
HBCUs.
Mhm.
That's why.
It's a man. I won't say his name, but he had a 0.57 GPA our
Oh,
freshman year after 2 semesters,
mm,
and he still goes to Morehouse, and he came back. He told me he was happy. He was we laughed about it, but he was so happy. He called me. He was like, "Dog." I was like, "What's up, bro?" And he was like, "I got a 2.1." I was like, "Congratulations."
that's
From
hard.
from 0.5 to 2.1. Hey, I'm
Hey,
hey.
look, I said, when you old enough to drink and I'm old enough to drink, we could do that.
Well, that's perseverance. I'm gonna give him. At least he's not giving up because
Hey,
people
He's
would
not.
get
tell me
upset.
about it. Tell me about
Yeah,
it.
You know
that's
what? When I went to FIS, I would get upset because if people say, oh, it's easy, it's not. Because when I went, I was not disciplined. I did not know how to study. Like I was 40 when I started out in chemistry. I got my BA in chemistry, master's in chemistry. But when I started out, my freshman year, it was 40 people in our class, the chemistry class we were in. So at the end of the year, it was 9 left. That many people. And it's hard. That's like I tell people, it is hard. Don't think, oh, it's a black school, it's easy. It's hard. And
Mhm.
so I did not have the discipline. The people who are those 9, the other 8 kids that were in the class with me, they went to a program before I got there that they were in a program that taught them how to do all the experiments, all that. I didn't do experiments. I didn't know what lab was. They knew it. And when we were doing conversions, they knew it already. I didn't. But the thing about it is the professor, I stuck in there, and the professor that we had, she was a good teacher, but I could not understand for the life of me what she did with conversion. So we didn't have internet back then for somebody to teach us. You know, like you can look it up how to do it. So it was a guy in my class. He was from California, and he's a president of a university this day. He took us, all of us that didn't understand, and he taught us. And I understood what he taught us. So from then on, whenever they did school, he would take us. And if he did not do that, I don't know where I would be. And then the professors, you know, guided me, you know, was like, oh, you could do it, you know, come on, don't give up, da, 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 da. So that's one thing I'll say about Black school. I think if I went to a white school, I probably wouldn't have got a degree in chemistry, because I would have been in a room full of 200 students that they, you know, back then they just lectured and they didn't care about the students. And I think I would have been dropped out. But since I had these students I hung with that rallied me on, and then the professor was rallying me on, come on, you could do it. Because the other people in my class, like, forget this, I'm gone. You know, they just left and went to other, like, I know one girl said she was real smart too. I think she went into poli-sci, something like that, but they left the field. But I just stuck in there, you know. And the funny thing about it, I did not want to be a chemistry major. I learned to love it. My mom said she would not pay. I wanted to do English. She said, I'm not paying for no English degree. She made me get a science degree. So I was forced, and I'd still, and I, you know, at first I was like, well, you know, I'm doing this chemistry. But then through the years, I learned to love it. I love it because I can get it, you know, I learned to love and appreciate it. But you know, I could say that about the Black schools. They did push me. I think if I went to a white school, I think I would have been, you know, because I hear so many students nowadays that go to PWIs. I've talked to a few of them, and they said, like, I know one girl, she's so intelligent. I used to work for the engineering team. She could code like they had those little cars. She could code them to run autonomously, and PhD people couldn't do it. So she led the team to London because she knew how to do it. She was the main person doing it. The other kids didn't even know how to do it. And then they like, you try to figure, I could not figure out for the life of me. So I had to call her back from college to show me. I still couldn't figure it out. After she showed me, she's so smart. And she told me she should have got a big scholarship to some, she said, I wish I could go to a HBCU, but she go to some little country Illinois school. She said the advisor would not let her in the engineering department. She told her she would not let her in the school of engineering. She could code cars. The man who was over the car came from Florida to try to show me. He couldn't even figure it out. She knew how to do it. We had PhDs. She could just do it. She was really intelligent. She said they would not let me in the school of engineering. She said, I'm going to try and be a doctor and see if the advisors will let me in. She said the advisor told her there's no way she can go to the school of engineering. That's recently, not back. This girl graduated probably 20. She ended up going to med school, but she graduated probably about 2024 or something like that. 23 or 24. And she said that the dorms that she lived in were raggedy. They put her in the raggedy dorms, and you know, they had the nice dorms, and you know, she was saying the discrimination was still going on. I'm like, are you really? And she said, yeah,
it's still going on.
I could not believe that. She said the dorm I live in don't have hot water sometimes. They made me live with 3 roommates. And she says nobody but color people in the dorm. And I don't want to say the school, but I was just like,
no. Don't say it, Mama. Let's put them on blast.
No.
Not trying to,
We don't have any money right now. We can't get sued right now. We gotta wait.
Well, allegedly, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, but I was really hurt that she was going through that, because intelligent, like genius intelligent. It's like they wanted to knock her down. They knew she was smart, because on her SATs, the school she went to should have guided her to go to even if it was a PWI, she should have been at UCLA, Harvard. She should have been at Harvard or something. And they didn't even guide her that way, but for them to knock her down, it looked like they saw how smart she is. It's like, let's knock this woman down, not, so she won't, we just taking her little money and,
Oh, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I see it. I see it. Bryson, you had your hand up for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say something scary. We were on the topic of PWIs. Everybody who I talk to, my age or even older by like 35, that went to PWIs, not even the known ones, but just them. They done some type of hard drugs. I gotta put that on blast. I mean, I wouldn't bring it up if I'm talking about like I probably met over 120 people that went to PWIs. A lot of them from Georgia Tech. It's them Houston and Texas schools as well. I'm talking about like cocaine in the middle of the party for the first time due to like peer pressure. So I'll say this about HBCUs. A lot of the students that go to them, a lot of them, they were stuck in the house. They have very strict parents. So when they go to these type of schools, they feel free and they start to try all these new things. And that leads them to either a good path or a bad one. You say, oh, I don't like that. Or you like, oh, this is the best stuff I've ever had in my life. So HBCUs don't have that, let's say, resource / access so easily to those type of substances.
I agree.
I'll say the most I've seen people do at HBCUs is smoke weed, and they starting to legalize that. So I guess I can't be too mad.
Okay, you're not kidding, but just to kind of put it out there, the private schools, growing up, the private high schools, they used to make a joke. If you want the good stuff, go to a private school. I mean, that unfortunately that was it. And no, I'm not editing that out at all.
I was at a less than zero.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the movie. Yeah. That movie. Yes.
They were in high school.
They were in high school and they went to private. Didn't they go to private school or something? Yeah, if you want to go to one, that's where. Yeah. Or yeah.
That's true. But you know what I think about this lady I work with, her daughter was going to an all-white, she's still in middle school, whatever, going to all-white middle school. So she was like, you have to apply for schools in Chicago. What do they call it, Bryson? I forgot. Some enrollment, selective enrollment. We have selective enrollment.
Yes. Yeah. And you have to do a quiz.
You got to take a test and all this, apply for the school.
What kind of schools? You talking about public schools?
Public schools. So really? Chicago designed this. So public schools, people didn't want to pay for private school anymore. So you want to go to public schools because now this school has all the good kids in it. This one has all the bad kids in it, like that. So, everybody strives to go, you got to get selected. And then they broke down to not, you have to be from it has to come from different areas and stuff like that. But she was asking me, she was saying, oh, I want my daughter, she's going to a white school. I'm trying to figure out what high school. I said, well, I'm going to give you some advice. I think you should put your daughter in a school that have mostly Blacks. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when she's at the white school, she's not going to be able to choose who she fit in with. She's going to have to force herself to fit in with a group that's going to accept her. And most of the times it's the lower groups. If your child doesn't have this, she's not the star athlete, whatever, she's going to have to join this lower group. And sometimes they do drugs, sometimes they do this, then sometimes she's going to hate herself, whatever. But if you send her to a school that's mostly Black, she gets a choice of who, what group she fits in with. Because they're going to be accepting whatever she fits in. Most likely she's going to be, fit into that group. So
Mm-hmm.
I look at Bryson now, say Bryson, when he went to Morehouse, you know, he went there, he found his group, and they look like brothers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like when I went to Fisk, I have friends, I'm still friends with them. You know, I found my group, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have to do, they fit in, we're not peer pressuring each other to be somebody else. Like my group, I'm not I'm myself. I could bring myself, like Bryson could bring himself, to the group. So I'm just saying, like, try to be around. I'm not saying, like, that's what my idea is. And now that I see on TikTok, and I'm not a big looking at reels, but I've been looking like on the reels, and they saying, bringing up the idea of the young man Norman Wells. They saying, oh, he was trying to fit in with them probably, and he should have, they blame and saying that he should have been around more his race or whatever. But I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying it has, for me, that's my advice. I just feel like kids should, you should send your child to a school where they could find, they could find where they fit in, not and be themselves, and not be somebody fake to fit in this group because they are forced to. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what I like about HBCUs.
The my niece just came in. Jasmine, you have to show your face in order for you to be to talk, because if you do not show your face, if you decide to say something, we're not gonna see you. Girl, show your face. Just show your face. You got a pretty face. You look like you're 80.
Okay.
Oh, anyway, so she'll just be here. Um, this is what I grew up around, a little bit of everybody, because I did go to a predominantly, what they in Houston they call it majority to minority, a minority to majority. So it was a predominantly white high school, and you had to fill out a form and to go to that school. So I did attend the schools, and it was okay. It wasn't a bad school. You did go through a lot as a Black person, but what it did was made the Black people come closer together. We band together on a lot of things. We had our own issues within, but we still came together. We showed that sister brotherly love, and everybody knew everybody. So we didn't play that. We was just right there. Now, as far as Nolan, the only thing that I didn't understand was the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation, they said that they don't see white or Black. They don't see color. And I'm not, and the thing is, one of the things that for me, I tell people, you are going to see color because we're different. I'm okay with that. You see me and you can say, oh, she's a pretty little short Black older lady. I don't care. Thank you. I am a pretty little short Black older lady with a little afro. I am. I'm good with that. And it's just saying that we're different, but we have respect for one another. But I'm the kind of mother that if my son decided he wanted to go, I would just let them know he comes back. I don't care what you do, he comes back. The way he left is the way he comes back.
Okay.
Because if he doesn't come back the way he left, I promise you, you're going to see me. And that's all. I'm not going to say anything. You're going to see me. And it might not be the road you want to travel. So let's make sure that the way he leaves is the way he comes back.
Okay.
Period.
Wait, in a good way, right?
Okay, you want to take it that way, you take it the way you want. But as long as
Well, no, my friend Maxwell, he changed so much. He came in with dreads and all this, and like, the whole shebang. And now, like, we have a professor. His name is Dr. Davis, and him and Dr. Davis got really close. And Dr. Davis introduced him to a few books. Max is starting to write his own book. When I mean start, I mean like he's 25 chapters deep and already handed us 2 drafts we read. And it was like, I don't know, like a whole 180. He cut off his dreads. He got like the short hair now. It was very cool. He
oh
changed
no
the way
no
he
no
dressed, the whole shebang.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the look. I'm talking about if you left my house with my son and all you guys went and have fun, my expectations, he left with y'all having fun. My expectations, he come back,
With a
period.
smile, at least with a smile on his face, huh?
He coming back. We not gonna get that phone call that something
He
went down.
missed
We're not gonna
it.
get that phone call. We
That's
gonna
so
get
sad.
he gonna walk in and say, "All right, mama, hey." That's
Yep.
what my expectations are. No, no, no. I'm not talking about the physical. I'm talking about, well, yeah, I guess I am 100% him. I need him to walk back in my house because I entrusted you guys, y'all to have a good time, to
Right.
do whatever you're going to do. Now, if if there's any problems, my expectations are, even though there are problems, he still comes back home.
Okay.
Not in a box. He
Got
walks in the house, he high fives, gives me a hug, and we talk about it and we move on from there. So that's just who I am. I'm, when it comes down to my son, I don't play
You
about
don't
my
play.
child. I
I
don't play
like
about him. And he almost 30, but I still don't play about him. So that's what my whole mindset is. As far as, if you don't want to see color, I don't know why you don't see, you should see it. It's not a bad thing that you see a white person or a black. It's nothing wrong with that. God made us different. He didn't say everybody gonna be one race, and if you're not that race, then you're a bad person. That's not what been placed in there. We're all one. We're all one. We're all different, but we all have commonalities, and that's fine. We should be.
Mm.
I
So
know.
yeah.
Not sure how about HBCUs versus PDIs. We've already talked about that.
But
But
when you talk
Oh
about the
man.
color, you talk about the color. I met some couples. They live like in Valparaiso and like places like it's all white. They said that their children do not think they're black. They think they're white.
huh?
I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah." She said they like the only black person in the school. They probably have one or two. She said they actually think that they're white. It's she said that she took them to her hometown and they were like putting their nose up and stuff like that. I'm like, what? And she said they think, I said, oh, it's gonna be a rude awakening for them one day. I don't know who they're around, but she said they think. I was like, that was crazy. I never heard people say that their children think that they're white. You know?
I've never been.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. They have two black parents, you said?
Yep, both their parents black, real black. I'm like, not no, I could pass.
Okay, that's
They
odd.
not, they can't pass. They cannot pass for white. You know, like some black people pass for white. No,
Mhm.
they're not. Mm-mm. But they parents, and it was a bunch of them. It was like about four couples. They all were from it was Valparaiso. I forgot the other, some city I never heard of. But their kids, they raising their kids there, and they said that they think that they're white. They said that they don't think they're black. So
Well, they need to go to
they
a
say they
HBCU.
don't see color either. So
They need to go to HBCU because that HBCU is going to teach them who they are and to be proud of them. Be proud of who you are and where we come from. One of the things that I like when LaJoy and I did a BCDI online something, I forgot what it was, something, a conference. And
Mhm.
one of the main things we kept sharing was they need to know that it's not just about slavery, because unfortunately a lot of them think it's about slavery and it's not. Many of us was already here, and that's the thing. They thought that, a lot of us came on that boat. No, when we finally learned, we were here, we were already here. And that's what I'm enjoying, the fact that a lot of the HBCUs are teaching that, to the point where they're doing their own background. They're looking at it. They're letting them know, hey, no, a lot of us was already here. Now, I'm not saying that none came over. Yeah, we did have some coming over with that boat, but we were here. And HBCUs, they go beyond that. They have that conversation. They're talking about it. And that's
Mhm.
what I like. They're talking and letting them know, hey, you guys are powerful. not everybody was kings and queens, but you have kings and queens, teachers, preachers, you had business owners, you had everybody out there, and they were all handling their business. We weren't all maids and whatever else they trying to make us think we are. And that's what I like about the HBCUs. Jazz said about the difference between HBCUs and PDIs. We've already talked about that. PDIs they didn't reach out to us. They are not going to reach out to us. We got to fit in where we can fit in. But HBCUs, they bring you in. They have that conversation with you. They are there to teach you, help you, support you. It's like a family. It's like a family. That's why I love a different world.
I think that the one thing with PWIs is unfortunate that they're taking away like studies like African American history, which I would prefer Afro American history. The one thing I noticed, because I did go to a PWI, there was always Black professors that taught the class back when I went. So you did have, it was funny, one of the professors actually worked in the school district I used to work in Gary. They taught to that way those things that we didn't know, even we didn't learn in high school. They were teaching those things that have been covered up. And I don't know if that's what's behind trying to take away those courses, because that's the way we were learning before internet was teaching so many people now. You had those professors there that knew the truth and were telling you, believe it or not, many of you all originated from the land we're on right now. All of us didn't come over on boats. And matter of fact, there's less of us that was on a boat than were originally here. And now science is proving, as their archaeology and stuff is pulling up bones that show you have people of Afro descent that were in Americas over tens and thousands of years, a couple 10,000 years here. So I don't know if that's a lot behind it. That I don't know. Is that why? Because I felt like when I took a course there, it was very empowering to sit with a Black professor who helped us understand who we were and how we all came about in that before slavery. Because the only thing, like I said in the past, we learned about Black people in elementary and stuff. Oh, you just learned, oh, you all were slaves and then you were free. And that was it. And Thanksgiving was a holiday where they celebrated, which was a bunch of lies. That was one of the biggest lies I think we were taught, that Thanksgiving was about them celebrating, when it was much more horrific than that. You learn later. But those are things I actually learned in a course like that in college back in the 90s. So, and it was shocking. I was like, oh, wait a minute. So this is the truth. But now everybody knows the truth because the internet has exposed the truth.
Yeah, you shared something on TikTok that I saw, like where they was talking about it. It was a couple of men, what they were comedians, and they kept saying, "Hey, y'all know we were here. What are y'all doing? Y'all know we were here long before." Or Black,
and those were actually white comedians telling the truth. That was the funny thing. They even knew.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's it. And it's the truth. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
And I thank you guys for being on here. I appreciate you. And LaJoy is smiling from ear to ear because her sister and her nephew is on here. Very vocal. I appreciate you guys. Do y'all have something you want to share before we say good evening?
No, just thank you for having me. And I hope that I gave a positive perspective of historically Black colleges. For me, it's really helped me. And I think, God leads us where we need to be. And I think if I went somewhere else, because I did want to go to Loyola when I was a senior, and my mom guided me to go to Fisk. She didn't say go, but she took me to my aunt's house and she already paid for my tour to Fisk. And I was on the tour and then I loved it. And guess what? When I was there, why Spike Lee was speaking. He wasn't Spike Lee back then. And he was calling us, he called me a wannabe. I got pictures, wannabe. He was trying to promote him. He was struggling to make that movie School Days.
Ah, okay.
And so he was famous back then. I didn't like him. I'm like, oh, he called me a wannabe. I didn't like him. Now he's somebody big, you know. And Jay-Z used to do his concerts back there. He was the nicest person ever. He never tried to talk to anybody. He did concerts there. He was about business. You know, I saw people before they were famous, you know, didn't know these people would be big people. And, you know, they were very respectful. I never seen them try to talk to women or anything. Very respectful men. So anybody say anything negative about them, I said, well, I saw back in the day, they were very respectful. But, you know, it's just like, you know, HBCUs was I have so many stories, so many people I've met, you know, through that, you know, I don't know them, but I've seen them, you know, and it was a great experience, I say, you know, that I probably wouldn't have got a Loyola.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bryson, you have
Yes.
any last words that you want to share with us?
No. If anybody in the AUC is watching this, the Morons Business Association will be we'll be bringing back its portfolio management program through Mr. Lucky's Capital. So please reach out to me on Instagram at Bryson, BRICENTOTD, and text me. I'll add you to the group me immediately.
Oh, cool. All right. So that means he's going to be sharing us a lot. We're going to need.
Yeah, he's going to promote us.
What you got, LaJoy?
So,
You have anything you want to share before we leave?
Oh, is my turn, or are you talking to your niece? Is she here?
No, she got off.
Okay. Only thing I want to share is that this was a good conversation. I want to thank both my sister and my nephew for joining us. And I think we might have to pull y'all back in because y'all have some really good stories and insight. And it was good to, you know, have this conversation and try to motivate more students to continue to support and seek getting enrolled in our HBCUs when they are going off to school.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I want to read this real quick. Black colleges have played an important role in the education, empowerment, and success of Afro-American students, from the missionaries that taught runaway slaves to the trade schools that were founded in the early 20th century. Some HBCUs, however, have more history than others. There are over 100 HBCUs in the United States, and many of those institutions have served Afro-American students for more than 100 years. So I wanted to say that because right now we need to make sure that we share, and we need to continue to elevate our HBCUs, because we have young people like Bryson and my niece. Actually, I have two nieces that attended Prairie View. And we just want to continue to encourage, because HBCUs, they're family, and they teach us, and we want to keep getting that teaching and that education. So that's it for today, and we want to say thank you.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. See y'all. Talk to you all later.